What I do is off the cuff. I talk about things that I know, that I've studied, that I research, but I don't use PowerPoints. I don't use any kind of special effects for YouTube, etc. I just talk. I'm a guy who talks into a microphone, and that's it. So you're not going to get any of that extra fluff today, or any of that great stuff that would make for good content. I hope somebody picks this up and does do a better job. But you can study what I'm going to talk about, which is, biological parents. Okay, kids need biological parents. You can study this. This is science. This has been proven. Kids do better when their biological parents are together. What I see in my, roamings about, talking to people, and this is all over the globe. I talk to people on social media from other countries, etc. And some countries are more affected by others, particularly developed countries. Okay, what happens is they get a hold of feminism, and feminism tells them they can be loose. Feminism tells women they can do whatever they want. Sexually, it's their body, so it's their choice, and of course abortion backs that up. I believe that it's fully something that's of the devil, because if you go have a bunch of sex, you're probably going to get pregnant at some point, because there's guys out there who don't care, don't use condoms, don't even pull out, which is crazy. But they do, and women don't care. Women, it turns them on. They want it. A lot of women, subconsciously want to get pregnant. A lot of women don't want to get pregnant, but a lot of women subconsciously do want to get pregnant. And they're okay with a guy coming inside of them. It's hot. I've talked to a lot of girls that say it's sexy, it's hot. Don't ever listen to what a girl says to like a beta guy. Don't ever listen to what a girl says to an interviewer, or when she knows a lot of people are going to see it. She'll tell the lie. She'll tell what she's supposed to say. What girls say behind closed doors is how they really feel. I've talked to a lot of girls when, anonymously, online, etc., in certain platforms where they can hide their face and hide their name, and they'll tell you shit. They'll tell you their fantasies. They'll tell you how they really feel about things. And a lot of women love when guys come inside of them. Turns them the hell on. And women want babies anyways. They're just programmed that way. Men too, to some extent. Men want to pass on their air. Men want to pass on their genes. But women want to get pregnant. They want to care for something. This is why little girls have dolls, and little boys have guns and toy trucks and all the things. Because guys, you were programmed in our nature, biology, whatever, culture even, to do things. We're cultured to produce something. Women are not until they get into college, when Marxism comes into play and radical feminism, which says, oh, you can do everything a man can do, and then they get all warped. And this is why there's so many unhappy single women out there in their 30s and 40s, because they were damaged by feminism, which told them you can go do everything a man can do. Women want kids. Women want to nurture something. It's in their nature. They want to nurture, right? So they want to get pregnant, okay? But the problem is that you have this feminism, and what feminism says is, oh, it's okay. And now what I see a whole lot is I see people playing damage control and trying to mitigate the fact that they're being, loose, they're being promiscuous. They're out there sleeping around, and there's consequences to that. So what they got to do is they got to make everything like that's somehow okay. And what they're trying to, and they do that through a process of normalization. They're trying to normalize things, and what they're normalizing is single parenthood. Oh, I don't need a man to raise my kid. Well, yes, you do, dear. Otherwise, you're going to be relying on the man's alimony. You're going to be relying on the state. Or if you do somehow are able to financially take care of a child, you may think you don't need a man, but studies say that's different. Studies say that's actually incorrect. Studies say that children need a father, okay? Kids need a father. I don't care if it's just a boy or if it's just a girl or if it's multiple kids, they need a father. This is science. Kids who don't have fathers, they grow up in single-parent households, they often get into crime. They grow up dysfunctional. They have mental problems. They have emotional problems. They don't know how to adjust to being an adult. They don't know how to regulate themselves in normal society, and they don't know how to be particularly the males. They don't know how to be a man. Okay, particularly when they're raised by single mothers. And this is a big problem of our generation that's causing a lot of social issues, which are being lied about or again, mitigated under the damage control of what these women and these feminists are doing when it comes to trying to soften the blow of their bad behavior. So instead of changing, instead of actually saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to take a good hard look in the mirror, I'm going to take a good hard look at myself, and I'm going to change. I'm not going to go sleep around. I'm not going to go sleep with, guys from the bar. I'm not going to let drunk idiots come inside me, Of course, it's a parenting thing, but it takes a village. It takes a village to raise, someone. And we have a culture that is trying to actively soften the effects and the damaging consequences of loose promiscuity. And one of the things they're doing is they're trying to normalize co-parenting, or they're trying to normalize, finding somebody, if you're a single mom, find a guy who's a single dad. And it's just like, that is fixing a symptom of the problem. The problem is that you're being loose, you're being promiscuous. The problem is you're being loose. The problem is you're getting pregnant by guys you don't want to marry, or guys you don't love. That's the problem. And so the kid is going to grow up in this torn scenario from the very beginning, this messed up scenario from the very beginning, where his dad was a rogue bad boy or whatever, and met the mom at the bar, and the mom was just a skank, or she slept around and she got pregnant and decided not to abort for whatever reason. Oh, I want a kid, or I can't kill it, or I've had 4 abortions before and I'm guilty every time, I can't do that again, or whatever reason why. And this is all documented. You can study this stuff. Again, I don't put up PowerPoints, I don't do all that crap, but I study this stuff. I know what I'm talking about. You can Google it. Do the research. This is something that is really affecting our generation. Single moms, it's an epidemic, man. It really is. It's a really big, really, really big problem. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it, they're trying to normalize it. Like, oh, it's totally normal to be a single mom. It's normal. No, it's not. And guess what else? It's damaging to the child. Even if there's shared custody, even if there's 50-50 shared custody, and the mom marries a stepdad who's a great guy or whatever, the kid is still going to have problems. He's going to have behavior problems. He's going to be dysfunctional in one way or another. He's going to have a lot of issues. Particularly if the dad doesn't like the mom, or the mom doesn't like the dad, or even maybe they don't not like each other, but they're estranged. They never loved each other. It was a one-night stand, or they were hooking up or whatever. They dated for a little while. They don't love each other. That's a problem for the kid. He's not going to grow up normal. And this is science, man. You can study this. Kids do better with both biological parents together in love. That's the best way to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to really know what love is. You're going to have this estranged perspective because your parents are estranged. You're going to grow up dysfunctional. This is why a lot of people grow up dysfunctional and are bad in relationships, because they saw their parents fail. They saw their parents get divorces. They saw their parents hate they saw their mom hating their dad, or vice versa, and it really affected them, and they don't grow up adjusted. So this is a really big problem, and this is why I always talk about, promiscuity is an issue. Now, I like sex just like any other guy. I get horny. Women are hot. It is what it is. But again, there's consequences. And I would advise, if you're gonna have sex, like, be very, very freaking careful. Like, use a condom, pull out, all that. Like, you don't want a kid, man. You don't want a kid that you don't want. And there's a lot of guys out there who don't care. There's a lot of guys out there who just want to pass their seed on because they think it makes them more of a man or something. And it's really, really stupid. It's not to say that you shouldn't have kids, not to say that you don't want kids, or it's not good to want kids. It is good to want kids, but you would want a kid with a quality mom. And that's the thing for me, is like, I would want kids per se if I met the right woman. But how often do you meet right women, right? Rarely, if ever, right? Most guys are just trying to get a nut. Most guys are just clamoring to get a girlfriend. It's like, they'll take anyone who comes along, and women know this, and this is why women are so selective, because they don't want just any Tom, Dick, and Harry, right? But men need to be more selective. Is she going to be a good mom? Is she going to be a good quality person to raise your kid? Or is she just some bar slut, right? You got to think about that, you know? But it's a big problem. Co-parenting is not the business. It's not the way to go if you can help it. You know, things happen. I get it. But if you can help it, don't co-parent. Don't marry a stepdad, stepmom, whatever. Don't do that. If you can help it, be in love with the mom, be in love with the dad, be in love with the biological parent, and raise a kid that way. That's the best way for a kid to grow up, feeling loved, feeling normal. Otherwise, there's going to be something wrong. There's always going to be something wrong. He's going to have more issues, guarantee it. This is statistics, man. You can look this stuff up. Kids, men and women in prison, high percentage, at least 3/4, 75 to 90% come from broken homes, come from, divorced homes, come from separation. It causes crime. It causes all kinds of bad things, So this is why feminism is damaging. This is why feminism is really dangerous, because it tells women that it's okay to do something that is statistically very, very dangerous. And nobody talks about it. And it's sick and it's sad. It needs to be addressed, and we need to talk about that, because that's really affecting our next generation. It's really affecting the unlawfulness and the negativity in our countries. It's a really big problem, but they don't talk about it because they want their cake and eat it too. They want to go out and be a slut and be a skank and get away with it. And sometimes you can, but other times there's consequences. And one of the bad negative consequences is you have children out of wedlock. And guys, you got to be careful. You have more power in a way, because a woman will get caught up in emotions, and she'll want you to come inside her or something crazy. A lot of these women out here I've been a bunch of women who are thirsting to get pregnant. They really want to have a baby. They want to get pregnant. It's just part of female nature. And they don't care. They just want to get knocked up. Particularly in a society where there's actually more benefits in a way for single moms. There's kind of an incentive almost. You get free healthcare, free rent, free food and benefits, and what do? You just got to raise a kid. I mean, the state has become a surrogate daddy. The state has become the father. The state has become the father role. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to drown on too long, but this is a serious issue. We need to address this and talk about this. This is affecting men. This is affecting our society. It's affecting our culture. It's affecting our children specifically. So we need to talk about it. But anyway, thank you guys for listening. It's been Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.